Well, here we are on Sunday morning again, getting very close to the top of the hour, and I am applying lots and lots of oil. So what I'll do during this time, I've gathered a few of my crystals that I wanted near me, and I'm going to apply the essential oils that anchor those same frequencies in the rainbow healing system. So first thing is that I felt it was really important to be authentic. That authenticity is extremely important, and that third glyph of authenticity is anchored by the energies, the energies of cedarwood and copaiba. Also, the frequencies can be held if the crystals are well cared for, because crystals, as you may know, are kind of like children. If you give them attention, they're happy to give back. If you leave them off in the corner, allowing them to be dirty and don't pay attention to them, they will do something to get your attention, and it usually is not what you would like. So I brought the red jasper, and I also have my amber bracelet on with a beautiful large amber stone that Made Gala in Bali created for me, with my glyphs on there as well. So I'm going to rub some cedar wood on my hands, and then I'm going to rub my crystals with them. I'm going to breathe it in first, and I'm going to rub my amber with it. And I'm just going to take a handful of my tumble stones and rub them with it, intending as I'm holding them that they anchor this beautiful energy of authenticity, that pale apricot, sparkling apricot energy that will assist me in being who I was created to be. And just for good measure, I'm also going to apply copaiba, because it also anchors that particular frequency. And I'm going to rub my amber and take another handful of my tumble stones, my red jasper tumble stones, and rub them. Now they're sitting right next to me, so I can breathe in this beautiful fragrance, and I can feel the energy of these crystals surrounding me to support me in being my authentic self. And then the second one that I'm going to think about is the balance, that perfect balance, that nurturing of self and others, which is anchored by both aquamarine, which I do not have here in Singapore, and aventurine. So I have my aventurine tumble stones, and the energies of Idaho balsam fir, Idaho blue spruce, and Northern Lights black spruce are perfect. They anchor these beautiful, beautiful balancing energies that will also allow us to be more grounded, as well as to nurture ourselves. So I'm going to grab, this is my little dish of aventurine tumble stones. I'm going to grab some of them and rub them in my hands, intending that they hold this beautiful frequency of compassion, the energy of nurturing of self and others, and finding that perfect balance of giving and receiving. So, wow, it's 11:01. I have talked and talked. So now we will actually begin on the subject at hand. So today, I couldn't decide what to talk about. I kept thinking, what else should I talk about? This? Should I talk about something else? And finally, I sat there and I realized, Frances, you keep drawing the same card over and over. This week I have drawn the air element, which is one of the holograms, and it is made up of the structure and the divine union glyphs. Both of these are purple. One of them is the lavender, the pink lavender, anchored by, guess what? Lavender essential oil, if you've thought of that. So I have my lavender essential oil that I'm going to apply. And as I do that, I'm going to intend to anchor these frequencies of the structure glyph. And I'll talk more about that later, unless I wander to some other thing instead. And also the energy of the divine union glyph, which is anchored by jasmine, that silvery violet energy. Now, I have those crystals here too. Here is my small amethyst. However, I also have on my amethyst bracelet and earrings that one of my members brought me from Banff last year. And I am going to intend that these support me in anchoring that energy and surrounding myself, every cell and every molecule, in this beautiful energy, the energy that will support me in building healthy cells and molecules and in having a strong foundation for the energy flow. My unique energy flow. When we attempt to run the energy of others, to be like others, it doesn't work for us because every one of us is totally unique. So as we are moving through these interesting days that have been in the last month and are those that are to come, it is very, very important for us to maintain our own unique energy signature, to be strong. This will help us in creating our boundaries more powerfully. And also I have with me the 3 different tumblestones that actually anchor the energy of divine union. There's the blue lace agate, the sugilite. These are tiny little sugilite. I have a beautiful one down in Bali. And the charoite, the little silvery violet charoite. So I'm going to hold them and rub my hands together, intending that these crystals also anchor these energies. Now, what is divine union all about? It is that reweaving ourselves back together under the direction of the source so that we can become, can actually be who we were created to be. As we're integrating all of our true knowledge and abilities and weaving ourselves back together, it's important to have those weavings in the right order and have them done according to who we were truly created to be. And that is something that only you and the source understand exactly why you are here and how you were created, what you were created to do. So, let's take a deep breath and get started. What do these 2 things come together? I've talked about this subject, I believe, in maybe a couple of months ago. However, from a different perspective. And if we stop and think about it, everything is changing all the time. The basic concept of this air element is clarity, to blow out the old and to bring in fresh new ideas. So I'm going to use the Clarity Blend. I actually have 11, I was surprised, and I don't know why I was surprised, but it ended up that I have 11 different single oils and blends the total number of bottles sitting here are 11. And that number keeps coming back over and over and over again. Ding, 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 it's an important number for me. So we've already applied the grounding oils of copaiba and cedarwood, which will support me not only in finding the clarity, but in being, in understanding who I am. Because the clarity that is unique for my being, it may be quite different from the clarity of you or your best friend or your sister or brother. So I'm also going to apply white angelica. And Gary Young used to say all the time, apply it across your shoulders, of course breathe it in, apply it across your shoulders and just brush your entire energy field with this beautiful frequency to support you in getting rid of the stuff that doesn't really belong in your energy field. So I'm going to look around, and I have my journey book here. Now, I read it. I read my guidebook and I read my journey book every single day as I'm doing my cards. And many times I do them more than once a day. It all depends upon, what's going on. So I love reading and determining which of these little separate points might be the most important for me. I do it by muscle testing without reading them. I just count the number of points that are listed in the journey book. And I actually added another one this morning because it just felt as if it needed to be there. So I'm going to read what is here. And the first thing on this list, and I'm just reading from the book, is mental acuity. Well, if we don't have clarity, it is difficult for our mind to truly work the way it was intended to work. Would you agree? So, eliminating excess things that are in the field. Every time we step out of our apartment or our home, we are faced with a lot of different energies that are out there. We may feel we're usually safe in our own home because it's familiar to us. But as we step outside, we have other things. So eliminating the things that are not supposed to be there. Sometimes we hold on to them. We come home and hold on to them and bring them into our living space, so that we believe they become a part of who we are, when in actuality they may be holding us back. The next thing is removing dissonance. What does that really mean? Well, whenever there's illness or disease or pain in any portion of the entire field, there is dissonance. The cells and molecules are not working together in harmony and unity. They're fighting with each other. So this air element, this beautiful energy, will assist us in removing that dissonance. It will give us that strong energy field, building our healthy cells and molecules so that there is no more dissonance. Eliminating distractions. Woo! How often do we start doing something or make up our mind to do something and then get distracted? Now, I have been reorganizing my office this past week. This is an unbelievably huge task. However, it is so easy to walk past my phone and see messages and pick it up and start chatting. Those distractions that keep me from what I could and perhaps should be doing. So it will help me have greater focus. Then recognizing false guidance. That's an interesting one, or at least it was for me, because sometimes we think we are receiving information and it may not really be from the source. So what can we do about it? Well, to me, the most obvious thing is create your sacred space and truly, truly make that strong connection with the source. Through the crown chakra, through the base chakra, the bottoms of each foot, and through the heart. Now, many of us are really into connecting and thinking things through. And in actuality, the way we hear our greatest messages is through the heart connection. Bypassing that brain, because our brain has its own agenda. It's as if it's in our being, but it has its own agenda. So I also added another one. This journey book was actually made as a workbook, and any of you like to write in books? I'm a big book writer because I will hold on to the book with all the information, and then I have my own notes in the book, and I can go back and I see them over and over again. But I added the 9th one here. Yes, 9. Overcoming self-limiting beliefs. How many of us have grown up with certain beliefs, and they may really have no bearing on what we're doing or what we're really here for. And it is so hard because it worked in the past. It's hard for us to understand that there may be a better way, a new belief to bring in. Well, that's what this air element is about. Blowing away those old ways of doing things, blowing away the beliefs, the attachments, all of that stuff that is not moving us forward, and allowing us to bring in new things. Now, we've just been through probably one of the more difficult months, certainly for me, that I have experienced in a long, long time. In July, we had an energy of lethargy, an energy of things not working together. And we also had 2 eclipses, which have the effect of shedding light, of bringing things up to the surface, things that need to be we need to pay attention to, things that need to be addressed. And usually, well, certainly in a month like July, that has been a very unexpected. The particular planetary and celestial energies that are out there just truly made it one surprise after another. At least it did for me. Does anyone else identify with that? So July was a month to just sit there and go, whoa, what is going on? It was not a month where we could really do a lot, and we didn't feel like doing a lot. Do any of you identify with that? Well, guess what? The month of August, it was almost as if that new moon on August 1st blew in all this fresh energy. And I've certainly felt as if a great weight had been lifted from my shoulders. It was absolutely very close to the transformation that I experienced in 1996. I had been dealing with diagnoses of 3 autoimmune diseases and 4 chronic degenerative diseases for a long, long time. And I just was weighted down. And in February of 1996, it was like an epiphany. Actually, it was when I met my husband, Stephen, and he worked on me. It was like immediately I began feeling so different. And that is kind of the way that I felt on August the 1st, when this new energy of expansion and action came in and things began to mesh together instead of fitting together off, all distortion. It seemed like everything began to start working together again. So with all this exciting energy that's coming in, now, some of you may identify with this, some may not. My tendency is push forward 100%. I've always called August, it's interesting, I've always called August the momentum month. That July is a lower month and August is a momentum month to really pay attention, to plan, to set goals, and to really go after them. Well, my messages this week have been all about, Frances, temper this. It's all about balance. That aquamarine and aventurine, the 4th glyph, the Northern Lights black spruce, I'm going to use that again because it's so important for us not to set these long-term goals. There may be many of you who do not agree with what I'm going to say. However, I'm going to say it anyway. You can disregard it, and that is quite fine with me. However, I was a long-range planner, and I would set my goals, and I was very good at piecing out the path, and I put blinders on and went full steam ahead. Well, that doesn't seem to be working these days. New energy is here. Change is all around us, and change is happening every single minute. So what we plan one time, 15 minutes later or a day or two or a week or two, may have nothing to do. It may not be relevant at all. The way we did things previously. For me, for instance, as a chronic planner, it just doesn't work anymore. So that acceptance of new ways of doing things is maybe one of the most important things that we can do. Now, does that mean that we stop just moving towards thinking positive things? I believe it's more about our new life journey is all about the refinement, making our refinement list. Now, those of you who participated in the New Life Challenge, of course, the 99-day challenge is over, and the winners of the challenge have been announced. However, the New Life Journey is continuing on, and our group support will be there for those of you who choose to join our group. And as we move through our new life journey, our individual journey, that refinement list is the key. It is a true key to everything. To read that list every morning, to read that list every night, maybe sometimes in between, and to refine the list. You may find, I'm finding that rewriting mine on a daily basis is very helpful because the priorities are shifting. And It allows me, I circle the 3 top ones each morning and evening to allow me to focus more strongly on what really is important to me at that moment. So get out your refinement list, read it, write it, rewrite it, and reprioritize over and over and over again. Understand that you are a journey in progress, and it can be fun or it can be frustrating because we refuse to change. Change, of course, is uncomfortable for most of us. We like to know what's going to happen. We plan it, we know how it's going to happen, and it works like clockwork. Well, that may have to be changed in the way we think about that, because change is happening too rapidly. We can't keep up with it unless we do allow the flexibility to be there. So I am going to look at a couple of the other oils that I have here. I've talked on and on. Chivalry, my things from the convention just arrived. I have not opened Chivalry, and it looks like, oh yes, I got it open. I remember this way back when it came out. It was one of my favorite blends, and I'm going to allow myself 2 drops of it. And I'm going to put it all over, rub my palms, put it on my wrist, behind my neck, on my ears, breathing it in. And this particular blend has a picture of Gary Young on his horse on there. That was one of the things I remembered. This label looks different from the original label, but that picture was right on it. And then I'm going to, of course, apply inspiration, because I'm choosing to be inspired to lighten up and do things differently, to recognize the fact that what worked before is not necessarily relevant today. And I'm going to believe that connection that I have with the source, that understanding the guidance that is continuously being given to me, is perfect for me. So, have a beautiful week of discovery, of harmony, of balance, and of bringing in new ideas, new ways of perceiving things, and have fun in the process. I look forward to seeing you again next week